Sunday on Fox, a great doubleheader starts with the Vikings taking on Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. Then Drew Brees leads the Saints against Nick Foles and the Bears, or other regional action. It all kicks off at 1 Eastern on Fox and the Fox Sports app. Terry Bradshaw is putting up $1 million for grabs again in this week's free-to-play Super 6 contest. All you have to do is correctly predict the outcome of 6 NFL games. Make sure you get your picks in before kickoff Sunday for your chance to be a millionaire and for top story scores and more. Go to the Fox Sports app. Colin, Steelers-Ravens is one of the matchups this week. Give us your winner and final score.
I stayed away from this. I initially loved Pittsburgh, but they just came off a really emotional game, and Baltimore's off a bye. I think I'm going to go Baltimore close. Baltimore 30-26.
So high scoring.
Yeah, kind of. Well, God, in the NFL, that's not even high scoring anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
Used to be. God, the whole league's crazy. I mean, it's seriously. You look at some of these defenses. Pittsburgh's defense, great. And Tennessee, had 27 kicking for 30. I mean, then that's a great defense in the NFL. It's just it's fun, though. It's a different world we live in right now. If you look at the way it works in the NFL, it's a different world.
It's that way in college, too.
Yeah. By the way, time to change your wireless provider. Go to puretalkusa.com. 2 gigs of data, all you need. Unlimited text, unlimited talk, 2 gigs of data. Dial pound 250 and say my name. Dial pound 250 and say my name. Joy Taylor with the news.
No. Turn on the news. This is the Herdline News.
Gardner Minshew is dealing with an injury to his throwing hands. He reportedly had multiple fractures and a strained ligament in his right thumb. The Jags have a bye this weekend, but his status for Week 9 against the Texans is uncertain. Mike Glennon is Jacksonville's backup quarterback if he is not back next week. They are 1-6. We are giving a lot of attention to the New York Jets and the Atlanta Falcons. And I think maybe because we were also high on Gardner at the beginning of the season, that we've forgotten that the Jags are also not good. And they could potentially be at the top of the draft at the end of the season. The rest of the schedule after the bye week is against the Texans. Then they're at the Packers, Steelers, Browns, at the Vikings, Titans, at Ravens, Bears, and at Colts.
I would say Jets, Jags will have the top 2 picks, and Jags is going to take a quarterback. We know that. They're going to take a quarterback. The question is, will the Jets, and they can either get a boatload of picks because somebody's going to trade up. It won't be the Giants, but it'll be like Washington will trade up. Listen, Washington could give them a good defensive, give me Ryan Kerrigan and your next 5 number 1 picks or something, and you keep Sam Darnold, because the Jets need an edge rusher, Ryan Kerrigan. They're going to have tons of cap space and a bunch of picks.
And they have so many picks in this draft.
Yeah, the Jets could have more if they traded out of that spot and gave somebody else Trevor Lawrence.
Well, look, I mean, if you're Trevor Lawrence, the Jets very, very well may just win 2 games at the end of the season. You never know. Again, players and coaches don't tank. Right. Only front offices do. Yeah. So they're still going to play as hard as they can. They're still putting tape out there. So that's just not how it works. And sometimes it just can flip at the end of the season, especially if they're up against people who are, going into the playoffs. And, if they say they sit someone, that can happen. So what do you do if you're Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars end up with the first overall pick?
Well, you go there and no state tax and lose a bunch of games, and maybe they can turn things around. They have drafted some good players over the years. It's not like the Jags haven't had some decent drafts. They have.
I would personally feel more comfortable as Trevor Lawrence going to the New York Jets at this point. So the Patriots could be looking at a rebuild, especially if they fall to 2-5 on Sunday. According to Albert Breer, the Patriots have told other teams that they would listen to offers for almost anyone ahead of the trade deadline. The team has been quiet thus far, but could be swayed to part with some of its best players if things don't go as planned against the Bills this weekend. Stephon Gilmore's name has been out there. The Bills are...
Oh, they'll crush them. Bills will win.
Favored by 4.
I almost put this in the Blazing 5. I bailed off. Philadelphia looks too easy and Buffalo looks too easy. I stay away from that. I think they're like trap games. They look too easy. But I think Buffalo will roll them. Well,
odds provided by Fox Bet. I think that this is going to be a blowout.
Yeah.
This is really a must-win situation for the Patriots if they're even going to stay in the conversation, and for Cam Newton as well, because obviously Cam is putting together tape for next year for whatever they're going to do moving forward. Very quickly, the conversation has changed about if, Cam is the future of the Patriots, and now into, where will he end up next year around the league. I know the Patriots are up to something.
Yeah. Oh, of course
I'm
they
with
are.
You. This is not an accident.
Of course they are.
Bill does not care. All this divorce talk. He's sitting back. This is what he's doing.
with $1 zillion in cap
He's
space
just
next
like,
year.
imagine this costume, but Bill Belichick's face. He is up to something. He has a master plan.
He has a master
None of this is an
plan for
accident.
dinner. He's got a master plan for everything.
It's definitely not an accident. Finally, the Nets announced that Mike D'Antoni has agreed to join the team's staff as an assistant coach. This reunites him with the new head coach, Steve Nash, who he coached, obviously, during 2 separate stints throughout Nash's career, most notably with the Phoenix Suns, where Nash won 2 league MVPs. And the team had 4 straight seasons with at least 50 wins. I like this move.
Yeah, Ty Lue got a head job when Ty Lue was an assistant. There's nothing wrong with being a coordinator in the NFL. We totally get it. What's wrong with Mike D'Antoni being an assistant for a couple of years, elevating his status? Everybody's going to go, Kyrie, KD offenses. Then he gets another job. There's nothing wrong with that.
Well, also, the Nets are in a good situation right now. He has 2 stars. All the responsibility's not on him, as it has been for the past couple years. Maybe he just wants a little break. Like, he probably could get another head coaching job or sit out for a year and wait for another position to open. This is a great situation. Again, I've been on this drumbeat all season long. KD's coming back. The NBA is going to look very, very different next year.
You're a little higher on that than I am.
I am very high on the Brooklyn Nets. I think they did an amazing job in the bubble with no one there. I'm not entirely sure how the Kyrie KD thing is going to work. And now they have Steve Nash. I know there was some talk with Kyrie and they don't need coaching. And I think that's exaggerated. But I think they're going to make problems for people in the East. And it could be a problem overall in the NBA.
There you go. Joy Taylor with the news.
Well, that's the news.
And
McConaughey, the Academy Award-winning actor. He won a Golden Globe, Emmy. He's going to be joining us, Texas Longhorn. He's their Minister of Culture for the Longhorn Basketball and Entertainment Facility, which is set to open next year. So very interesting guy. You know his career, all the movies, The Wedding Planner, Wolf of Wall Street, Dallas Buyers Club, Interstellar, Contact, which is back in the 90s, is a great movie. It's a UFO movie you can buy. He's coming up next. Some days you feel like you could get in a car and just drive for miles. We've been doing that during the pandemic. You can't go to the places you normally could. You get in your car, a staycation. You drive somewhere on the road and it feels great. But now it's winter, it's cold, it's wet, it's sloppy. And these are the times, of course, that you got to be careful. You got to have the right wipers to make sure you and your family are safe. The new Michelin Endurance XT silicone wiper blades. They're crafted for weather we're about to see all over America. They have advanced quad tech. That's 4 layers of coated silicone. What does that do? It repels water, snow, hail, ice, rain, all that stuff. Only available at Walmart. They last 2 times longer than other blades. They tested them on a 16,000-mile drive from Alaska to Argentina. They are built for extreme weather. Walmart's the place to get them. Michelin Endurance XT silicone wiper blades.